Hello and welcome to Enjoy English School.
欢迎来到 Enjoy 英语学院。
I'm Stevie.
And I'm Laurie.
Today, we are looking at our composition lesson. Now, what you're going to see in the magazine is 3 pictures. And basically in the writing, we're going to explain, we're going to talk about what you see in the pictures. And without looking at the article, what I see basically is a guy doing some dumb things. No. Coming up here in a minute. You translate, and then we'll talk more about the pictures.
Okay, but are you going to say the title?
Have you learned your lesson yet?
所以今天来到我们看图作文的单元那么今天呢，文章的中文标题是学到教训了吗？那其实可以从刚刚 Stevie 老师讲的话里头，你也可以这个嗅出一点端倪了因为他说这个基本上我们看到的3张图片是一个家伙呢在做一个有一点呆的事情，有一点蠢的事情，所以你看到我们的这个 title 呢，就是有没有学到教训呢？那么呢，我们现在就跟着这个 Stevie 老师一起来看这个3张的图片先看看图片大概是关于什么，然后接着我们一起来这个进入文章。
Okay, starting out, just looking at the first picture, all right? I see a guy, he's looking at a screen. He is looking at a computer screen or a TV screen, and it says 4 degrees Celsius. That's pretty cold, right? And you see a little graph, and so that means the temperature is going down.
That's right.
Okay, and then you also see another picture. You see a little cloud. So he's probably watching a weather report. He's watching something about the weather. Now, we also see a light bulb. What does a light bulb mean? A light bulb means if you see a light bulb in a picture near somebody's head, then that usually means they have an idea.
That's right.
And the reason we use a light bulb is because we have a phrase that is often used, especially in British English. That is brilliant. Now, brilliant means it's bright.
很亮。
Yeah. And so we often use a light bulb, you know, like you're thinking of something and suddenly, ding, you have an idea. And usually when we think that, we think it's a good idea.
Of course.
Looking at the second picture, we see this guy outside riding his bicycle in the cold. He's not wearing a jacket. Other people are wearing hats and jackets, and he's riding his bike in the cold with no warm clothes on. The third picture, he's holding his phone, and his tongue is stuck to a pole. When your tongue can stick to a pole, you know it's below freezing. Yeah. Taiwanese, you've never had this because it doesn't get that cold here. This happens. And as a child, I tried it. Not a good thing.
No
okay?
way.
Yep.
Oh.
Almost so many kids from cold countries, we've all tried it.
Okay.
We all know. Yeah. Even your hand will stick to metal.
Okay.
If it's wet and you stick to it, you will stick. You will freeze to the metal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Not fun.
That's really something terrible.
So now let's take a look at what the actual article says. All right, looking at the first part, Jake, now we know the boy's name, Jake was watching the weather forecast on TV. When we watch what's going to happen with the weather, it's called the weather forecast. So he was watching the weather forecast on TV.
所以呢，我们的文章的第一张图呢，我们就给了这个角色一个名字。这个男孩呢叫 Jake。 那么他呢在干什么呢？第一张图中，他正在看电视上的天气预报，所以我们就把句子写出来了。那么记得我们在看电视或者是看一些影片电影这一类的时候呢，我们会用的是 watch 而不是用 see 那么呢，这个是你有在看那个内容的时候，你会用这个 watch 这个字。所以呢 Jake 他正在看电视上的天气预报。
The weather forecast, it said there would be heavy snow the next day. Now, in English, you can say, oh, it snowed a lot. You can say that, but we don't say, oh, the snow is a lot. We never say that. We say the snow is very heavy. Now, heavy means thick, but actually snow is also quite 很重. So a heavy snowstorm means a lot of snow. And then when it's on the ground, it's quite heavy, 很重. So it said there would be heavy snow the next day. So he knows tomorrow it's going to snow a lot.
所以呢，接下来他讲到 it 指的当然就是前一句说的这个气象预报。那么说什么呢？说将会有是 there would be， 将会有呢一场大雪在这里的 heavy 其实中文的话还比较容易犯错，是会讲 big snow。对对，比较容易犯错的话，但是这里要小心的话，就是刚刚 Stevie 老师有提到的，这个雪下很多很大的时候呢，其实它是很有重量的，所以你就用这样的方式去记所以呢，记得大雪是用 heavy 来形容它。那么呢，隔天将会下大雪。
Suddenly, a brilliant idea, a bright idea, a great idea.He thinks.
对
Okay, 他以为. Suddenly a brilliant idea popped into Jake's mind, and he thought it would be fun to try it out. When we say pop, it means because suddenly, you suddenly have an idea like, oh, I know, I have a great idea, and I think it would be fun to try it out.
好，所以呢，接下来他说，突然之间那么呢，一个很棒的点子呢 ，popped into somebody's mind 的时候呢，是表示突然呢，这个出现在某个人的脑中这个灵光一闪、灵机一动的意思。所以呢，突然呢，有一个很棒的这个点子呢，出现在这个 Jake 的脑中。那么呢，他呢认为 it 是指那个 idea 那个 brilliant idea would be 将会是呢 fun 很好玩的。干嘛呢 ？To try it out， 如果来试试看那本来如果我们讲 try 也是试，但是 try something out， 它特别有一个你去实验、去试验、做做看这样子的感觉所以呢，他这边呢打算要去试他的那个所谓的很棒的 idea。
Okay, that's picture number 1. Now we'll take a quick break and come back and look at picture number 2. Okay, looking at part 2. Jake was kind of overweight. Now, we could say he is. In the picture, you can see he is a little overweight, a little bit like Stevie. So I'm glad they didn't call him Stevie. But often we tell stories in a past tense.
That's right.
So Jake, in this story, he was kind of overweight. He was a little bit overweight. It's not nice to say he was fat. It may be true, but it's not nice to say, okay? He was kind of overweight, so he was not afraid of the cold. I guess this is saying that overweight people 比较不怕冷, all right?
这个应该没道理。
Sometimes it's a little true.
Okay, whatever you say. 好，所以呢，接下来我们看到第二张图片了那第二张图片呢，它一开始先描述说 Jake 呢，他呢是有那么点叫做 kind of 有那么点呢 overweight weight 本来是重量的意思那么前面加了一个 over 把它复合成一个字，变成是超过重量的。那所以换言之就是有一点过重。那有点过重就是刚刚 Stevie 老师说的，其实是有一点点胖胖的。但是呢，你讲人家 fat bad 是很没有礼貌的啊，所以呢，用这样子的字呢，可能是比较间接的，是比较好一点的哦。然后呢，因为他有一点胖胖的，所以呢，他并不害怕冷啊，不怕冷。这里的 be afraid of 这个是固定的用法的片语哦，就是对什么怕，那中间加了一个 not， 所以他不怕冷。
Yeah. Except, of course, they the cold still bothers them, but maybe they don't feel as cold as other people.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
也许没有感觉那么冷，比较的话。
Okay.
Yeah, a little bit. It's like a whale in the ocean, right? You have thick stuff that helps protect you.
Okay.
That's what they're saying here. So, what did we just hear in the article before, or in the paragraph before? There's going to be a heavy snowstorm. So, in this next sentence, he wore short sleeves and light clothes and rode his bike all the way up a mountain. In the mountains, when it's cold, it gets much, much colder than the city. And if it's going to snow, I will tell you right now, students, you should not be up in the mountains in the snow without heavy, heavy clothes and a way to get out of the mountains, okay? Wow, this is just a bad idea. Really bad idea. He wore short sleeves, okay? These are your sleeves, all right? Short means short, 短的.
That's right.
All right? And light clothes. What are heavy clothes? Heavy clothes are thick clothes that keep you warm. Light clothes are for summer. So he wore short sleeves and light clothes and rode his bike all the way up a mountain when it's supposed to snow.
所以呢，这个我们知道他的 brilliant idea 原来是这个啊，就是呢，他呢穿着这个短袖啊，刚刚讲的 sleeves 是袖子啊，所以前面加一个 short 是短袖，以及呢这个 light 这里不是光啊，它指的是轻。所以是轻薄的衣物哦，
Yeah.
所以呢，刚刚呢 ，Steve 老师也有讲到呢，穿 heavy clothes 的话呢，指的就是厚重的衣物，所以这刚好你也可以一起背哦。那么呢，他穿着短袖跟轻薄的衣物，然后骑着他的脚踏车呢 ，all the way up a mountain， 就是一整路的骑上山这样子。
So he rode his bike up the mountain. The surroundings were covered with snow. When we say the surroundings, this means all around you. Everything that is surrounding you is your surroundings. Okay? And surrounding just means like 围绕着,
对
right?
对
So if your surroundings, it means all the things around you. So the surroundings were covered with snow. So his clothes, meaning his light short sleeve shirt, his light clothes, no coat, no hat. His clothes attracted people's attention. All right, the people who are up there may be looking at the snow. His clothes, his light, they're looking at him going, is he crazy? Is he, wow, I would be so cold.
对
Okay, his clothes attracted people's attention. And well, it was just silly.
That's right 。所以呢，这一句讲到 the surroundings 这个主词啊，指的是整个四周啊。那因为 surround 这个字本来它可以当动词，那它指的意思是围绕、环绕的意思
Yeah.
啊。所以呢，再加一个 ing， 把它变成名词以后，再加一个 s，surroundings 就是指你的四周这样的一个意思啊。所以它的整个四周呢，都被什么所覆盖了，叫做 were covered with something。这里的 cover 就是覆盖的意思。那都被雪所覆盖了，所以那个 with 后面你加一个 snow 就可以了。然后呢，逗号的后面他说，所以呢，他的衣服。他的穿着，那意思就是他穿那么少，然后呢 ，attracted 就吸引了 people's attention 人们的注意力 ，attention 是注意力的意思，所以大家都注意到，就像刚刚 Stevie 老师表演的就是觉得你这个人是头脑坏了吗？怎么穿这么少，不会冷吗？
Yeah. Jake even heard some passersby gossiping behind him. So as he's riding past people, he can hear people behind him. These are called passersby because they are people who are passing by you. Okay? They're gossiping behind him. Did you see that guy? Oh, I would be so cold. He's crazy. What's wrong with him?
Wow.
Gossiping.
Okay. You are good at this.
I know.
好，所以呢，刚刚演的非常的这个像哦，就是呢 ，Jake 他甚至可以听到有一些路人 ，passersby 就是路人啊。那么呢，这个怎么样，在 gossiping behind him， 在他背后呢，就是议论纷纷的意思哦。因为呢 ，gossip 呢，我们有时候讲就是像讲有时候讲人家八卦，也可以用 gossip 这个字，但是这里的话，就是你在议论他，就像刚刚 C 老师演的那样。
Right. Okay, now we'll take a quick break and come back and look at the last part. Okay, looking at the next picture, it turned out that Jake wanted to see if a person's tongue could really freeze to icy metal. Freeze to something means it's frozen and you stick.
OK， 所以呢，第三张图片呢，一开始我们就来写说呢 ，it turned out that， 通常 it turned out 后面接一个 that 子句的话呢，就是结果怎么样啊？事情最后发展成怎么样？所以结果原来是这个 Jake 呢，他想要看看是否一个人他的舌头呢，是真的可以呢冷到冻住，粘在这个冰冷的这个冰冻的这个金属上面。
Yeah. Unfortunately, like very unluckily, when he tried to lick a pole at a bus stop, that's exactly what happened. When he tried to lick a frozen pole at a bus stop, his tongue stuck to the pole.
哦，所以呢，这个很不幸的是，当他试着呢要来这个用舌头去舔一个这个巴士站的一个这个杆子的时候呢，他呢那正是事实上发生的事情。那哪个是？就是第一句说的舌头粘上去了，正是发生的事情。
It pained Jake when he tried to pull his tongue back. It pained him, it hurt. All right? It hurt Jake when he tried to pull his tongue off the pole.
那么当他试着要把他的舌头拔回来的时候，当然呢 ，Jake 非常的痛。
He began to panic. What do I do? Okay, he began to panic and tried to use his smartphone to call for help.
Yeah,
Probably not working very well. Okay, could you imagine? I can't. I have to do this. Can you imagine that your tongue is stuck to a pole? You're like. It's funny, okay?
Yeah.
It hurts, but it's funny. So he began to panic. He tried to use his phone to call for help.
That's right. 所以呢，他呢就开始慌张了哦。Panic 就是慌张的意思，是动词。
Yeah.
然后呢，他试着用他的手机要来求救，叫 call for help.
Yeah. After someone helped him out, so somebody came and helped him.
Wow.
After someone helped him out, Jake decided he would be more careful in the future. So in the future, maybe he wouldn't do things like this.
We don't know.
We hope.
OK， 所以呢，最后他讲到说，在某个人过来帮忙他以后 ，helped him out， 帮助他脱离那个困境以后呢，他就决定呢，在未来他要更加小心。
Yeah. Okay, that's our composition for today, our lesson for today. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with a really quick review. Okay, one thing we don't see in Taiwan very often outside in nature is ice. It doesn't usually get very cold. But I want to talk about the words we use today, freeze. Okay, freeze is a verb, right? If you freeze something, then you make it like ice. It's cold like ice. Okay, we can't say it becomes ice because what is ice?
Water.
Water, frozen water. So if you freeze something, you turn it very, very cold, like ice. If it's frozen, then it's already like ice. And if it's icy, that means it's just covered in ice. It's cold and it's covered in ice. So we use those words today, and I just want to clear that up for students.
OK， 所以呢，这边讲到的第一个 freeze 的话，当然指的那个动词就是冷冻的意思啊，所以你可以冷冻一些东西，但是那个东西它并没有变成冰，但是它的温度变得非常非常的低，然后可能会变得很硬哦，所以呢，很像冰，但是它不是。
温度跟冰一样。
对，OK。但是呢，如果水它整个变成冰的话，那个 frozen 就是它是整个是结冻的啊。那么这个时候呢，它就是一个 frozen 的状态，因为 frozen 它不是一个动词哦，它是一个状态。那最后讲到 icy， 它也是一个状态，那它指的是都被冰所覆盖。the covered with ice。那么这个时候你就可以用 icy 来形容它的那个状态。
And students, if you really stick your tongue to icy cold metal, it will stick. And if you pull back,
it will break.
It will take the skin off your tongue. So what you do is you have somebody pour some warm water, even cold water. Pour water on your tongue, it will come off.
Ooh.
Okay? Very simple. If you try it, that's how you get it off, okay?
And you can help other people too.
Yeah, that's all the time we have today. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
第18页，看图作文，学到教训了吗？
Have you learned your lesson yet? Jake was watching the weather forecast on TV. It said there would be heavy snow the next day. Suddenly, a brilliant idea popped into Jake's mind, and he thought it would be fun to try it out. Jake was kind of overweight, so he was not afraid of the cold. He wore short sleeves and light clothes and rode his bike all the way up a mountain. The surroundings were covered with snow, so his clothes attracted people's attention. Jake even heard some passers-by gossiping behind him. It turned out that Jake wanted to see if a person's tongue could really freeze to icy metal. Unfortunately, when he tried to lick a pole at a bus stop, that's exactly what happened. It pained Jack when he tried to pull his tongue back. He began to panic and tried to use his smartphone to call for help. After someone helped him out, Jake decided he would be more careful in the future.